Well, hi everybody. We're here at the West Coast Bureau of PowerLine on the central coast of California, and John Hinderrocker has arrived here just in time for sunset after something of an arduous day on the roads here. John, how was your first experience driving down the coast in California?
Actually, my second. When I was 10 years old.
Well, that doesn't count.
When I was 10 years old, my family took one of those long driving vacations on the then new interstate highway system.
Wow.
From South Dakota to Los Angeles, up Highway 1 to San Francisco and back to South Dakota. So I've done this before, but it's been a long time. And so we arrived here just a little while ago after 8.5 hours behind the wheel.
From a place that's only 4 hours away.
Yes,
right.
Exactly right. Right. That was, we didn't plan it that way. So we had it all figured out. We were going to leave San Francisco, go down to Monterey and Carmel, and down Highway 1. We were going to stop at Hearst Castle, which my wife and daughter desperately wanted to see, which is just a few miles from where we are right now, the PowerLine's West Coast headquarters, and then on here in time for dinner. And so everything went according to plan, and we were within about 30 miles of here, having driven down the entire coast, northern coast of California. And all of a sudden there's a roadblock on Highway 1. And it says road closed. There's a guy standing there. And so we slowed down, and I come to a stop, and I put down my window, and I'm thinking, what the hey, what's this? I said, what's going on? Rock slide. There was a rock slide earlier today. We closed the highway. I said, well, how soon is it going to reopen? He said, it'll probably take about 3 days.
Oh, boy.
To clear the rock slide. So I said, well, what are we supposed to do? Because, as you know, Highway 1, you got a cliff and the ocean on one side, and then you got, the mountains on the other. So your options are very limited. So I said, what are we going to do? This is why I have to turn around and drive back to Monterey.
It's a long haul.
Long.
It may only be 60 miles, but it's a pretty slow 60 miles, I know.
So we turned around and drove back to Monterey, and then east to Salinas, and then down through the agricultural valley, all the way to Highway 46. And then east back to Highway 1, where we wound up within about 30 miles of where our path had been blocked 4.5 hours earlier.
Right.
But we finally made it. Here we are.
Right. Well, good. Well, brought to you by the people who want to build more high-speed rail.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something. After today, I'm a little more amenable to that, but not much.
So, who did you visit in the Bay Area, and who are you visiting in Los Angeles?
Well, we visited several people, including some old friends from college, having nothing to do with the public world of politics. We also spent some time with Peter Robinson, another guy from the Hoover Institute. Drove down to Stanford and had lunch with them at the business school there. That was delightful. And then we're going to continue on tomorrow to the Los Angeles area and meet up with a number of people that we know from the world of politics and media, including Roger Simon and Scott Immergut and Rob Long and Hugh Hewitt. And
that's a splendid group. Well, my highlight reel for the day, which you don't know yet, I emailed Scott about this, is on the airplane out from Washington to Los Angeles. 4 rows in front of me was Jim Leach.
Really?
And unfortunately, it was a full flight, so I couldn't get up and take my little PowerLine app on my iPhone and say, "Hi, Congressman, how are you? PowerLine's sitting behind you. Want to chat? How are things?" So we didn't.
Very funny. Sometimes you want to put a little mask on and sort of,
Right. Well, we have to have a PowerLine editorial board meeting, I think, out here. We've got to get Scott out here.
No, wait a minute.
No,
Steve, we don't.
Keep this,
no. Until Paul rejoins the site, I'll just leave that little hint hanging. That hasn't happened yet. You and I constitute a quorum. We have 2/3 of the editorial board here tonight, and so if we want to, we can just go ahead and start making decisions.
Okay, I think what that means, Scott, is we're going to dream up a whole bunch of assignments for you. And I think with that, we should wrap up and throw some steaks on the grill and open a bottle of red wine.
Red wine. It's time.
Bye, everybody.